Welcome back to another MLB divisional preview. Today I'll be looking at the AL Central, and I'm previewing every MLB division. Then I'll make my season predictions, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a video. So starting out with the Chicago White Sox. Last season they were 41 and 121, and that's one of the worst seasons in MLB history. This offseason they lost Mike Soroka, Yohan Moncada, and Gavin Sheets. Then they added Mike Tauchman, Josh Rojas, Joey Gallo, Brandon Drury, Martin Perez, and Penn Murphy. Martin Perez was a solid veteran pickup, but this is still not that great of a roster. They're going to have a lot of young prospects come up this season, with their number one prospect, Noah Schultz. Over 2 seasons in the minor leagues, he started 33 games and has a combined 2.0 ERA and 150 strikeouts. Then they have their number 2 prospect, Kyle Teel, who's supposed to come up this season, and then Colson Montgomery. And within the next 2 years, they could have a very good rotation with Drew Thorpe, Noah Schultz, and Hagen Smith. I do expect them to move on from Luis Robert at the trade deadline this year. And a few of those veterans that they did sign this offseason, I think they could flip for a prospect at the deadline, like Joey Gallo or a Martin Perez. Overall, I think they are going to be better than last year, which is not saying that much. But their over-under this season is 53.5, but I'm still taking the under. Next, the Minnesota Twins. Last season, they were 82 and 80, and this just shows how good that division was, with a team that's over 500 being 4th in their division. But this offseason in free agency, they lost Carlos Santana, Max Kepler, and Kyle Farmer. Then they added Ty France and Harrison Bader. With moving on from Kepler, Matt Wallner can be their everyday right fielder now. But I think their success is going to be reliant on if Byron Buxton and Royce Lewis can be healthy. Last year, Byron Buxton played 102 games, which is the first time him playing 100 games since 2017. But that's just the second season in his career he's done it. Then last season, Royce Lewis played a career high 82 games, but that's still just half a season. But in those games, he had 16 doubles, 16 home runs, and 47 RBIs. But if he could play like that for an entire season, he would be a 30-30 guy and could be a top 5 third baseman in the league. Their over-under this season is 84.5, and I'm taking the under. Then the Detroit Tigers. Last season, they're 86 and 76, and they didn't lose anyone this offseason, but they added Gleyber Torres, Jack Flaherty, Tommy Kahnle, Andrew Chafin, and Alex Cobb. Overall, I think they have a pretty good lineup with Gleyber, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, Colt Keith, and Parker Meadows, and it would be huge for them if Spencer Torkelson could break out. And they could have a really good 2 or 3 starting pitchers with Tarek Skubal, Jack Flaherty, and Jackson Jobe should be up for the full season, or at least majority. Their over-under this season is 83.5, and I'm taking the under. I know their roster did get better, but at the end of last season, everything went perfect for them, and they were just very hot. I just think they're going to have some slight regression. I still think they're going to be around 82 to 80 wins this season. Then next, the Royals. They finished last season at 86 and 76. Their only notable player that they lost was Paul DeJong. Then they added Jonathan India and Carlos Estevez. I think India was a very good pickup. That gives them an everyday second baseman slash DH. And that just lengthens their lineup. They have a great top 4 with India, Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino, and Salvador Perez. It would be big for them to have Hunter Renfroe have a bounce back season. Last season, he had 18 doubles and 15 home runs, which is down from what he normally does, which is usually around 20 to 30 home runs and around 30 doubles. But then they have a very good rotation with Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Michael Lorenzen, and Chris Bubich. Then their top prospect, Jack Caglione, has been playing very good in spring training. He's not expected to be called up until next season, 2026, but he might end up playing his way into this lineup. In 12 at-bats in spring training, he's batting .500 with 3 home runs and a double. So if he keeps this up throughout the rest of spring training and even in the minor leagues, I could see him getting called up around July or August. The Royals over-under this season is 83.5, and I'm taking the over. Then finally, the Cleveland Guardians. They finished last season 92 and 69. In the offseason, they lost Matthew Boyd, Alex Cobb. Then they traded away Andres Jimenez, Miles Straw, and Josh Naylor. But they added Carlos Santana, Luis Ortiz, Paul Sewald, Jacob Junis, Slade Ciccone, and John Means. For all of last season and again in the playoffs last year. They were carried by their pitching staff, especially their bullpen, and I love the additions of Sewald, Junis, and Slade Cecconi. As a Guardians fan, I'm fine with them trading away Jimenez. He was an elite defender, but his offense just wasn't there. And now that opens up second base for Travis Bazzana later in the season. So with these offseason moves, the bullpen got even deeper, and John Means could be a very sneaky pickup, kind of like Matthew Boyd was last season. He hasn't really pitched much in the last 3 seasons, only pitching a combined 10 games in the last 3 seasons. So if he could be healthy this season, and with the way Cleveland fixes pitchers, he could be a very good starter. Then Shane Bieber will be back this season. At the beginning of spring training, there was a video of him throwing off the mound. He was throwing about, I think, 85 to 90%, but it was just 20 pitches. But he's ahead of schedule. Originally, he wasn't supposed to come back until July or August, and now I'm hoping he could be back a few weeks earlier than that, maybe even in June. But I still think he'll be back near July. But overall, they have a solid lineup with Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Kyle Manzardo, and Kyle Manzardo can now be full-time DH/first baseman. Then you bring back Carlos Santana, and even though he will be 39 this season, he's still putting up around 20 home runs a year, but that is a downgrade from Josh Naylor in my opinion. But they also still have Lane Thomas, and hopefully Brian Rocchio could have a breakout season. He played very well last season in the playoffs, and he's been playing great in spring training this year. In spring training, in 23 at-bats, he's batting .390 with a .982 OPS, so I hope that can continue and translate to the regular season. The over-under this season is 82, and I think that's pretty low, and I'm taking the over. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Goodbye.